Have you ever wondered, why do you feel like you don't fit in, even in rooms full of strong women? Not because you're less, but because you're beyond. So here's the thing. Sigma females. They're not your average woman. They don't follow the crowd. They lead themselves. This video isn't about what Sigma females do. It's about what they don't, and what they often don't even realize about themselves. Because sometimes the stuff you refuse to tolerate, that's the stuff that shows who you really are. And if you've ever been called too much, too distant, or too intense, this one's for you. Let's be real. Society has a playbook for women. Be soft, be likable, be less. But Sigma females, they never got the memo. Or if they did, they tossed it. You've probably felt it, this quiet tug of war. The world says, be this. You say, why? Then go do your own thing, and people don't always get it, because they're not used to women who don't need validation. Now it's time for today's main video, 8 things Sigma females just can't do. 1. A Sigma female can't fake it. She just can't. It's not in her wiring, whether it's a forced smile, a fake laugh, pretending to enjoy small talk, or playing along with something that doesn't sit right with her. She won't do it. She'd rather sit in silence than engage in a conversation that feels empty. She's not rude, but she's real. And for her, being real matters more than being liked. A Sigma female doesn't do things just to keep the peace, if that peace comes at the cost of her own truth. She's the kind of woman who will quietly walk away from anything that doesn't align with her values. If she feels out of place, she doesn't force herself to blend in. She removes herself. No drama, no explanation, just gone. That's her power. Her presence is intentional. Her silence is honest. She can't fake her energy. If she's happy, you'll feel it. If she's not, she won't pretend. She doesn't know how to sugarcoat her emotions just to make others comfortable. That doesn't mean she's cold. It means she's genuine, and she values authenticity more than approval. A Sigma female doesn't fake relationships either. If she's in it, she's all in. If she's not feeling it, no matter how perfect it looks on the outside, she won't force herself to stay. She doesn't do performative love. She doesn't text back just to be polite. She doesn't say, "I miss you," if she doesn't. You'll never catch her posting picture-perfect moments while secretly feeling disconnected. That's not her style. She can't fake emotional intimacy. If the bond feels surface level, she disconnects. And if a friend turns fake, she doesn't confront with drama. She just fades out, slowly, quietly, and completely. She doesn't owe closure to anyone who didn't show up with sincerity. Even in work and ambition, a Sigma female can't fake passion. She's not chasing money or status just to prove something. She wants meaning. She wants depth. If she's not lit up by what she's doing, she won't fake the grind. She might step back. She might take time to reset. But she won't push herself in a direction that doesn't feel real. She's not chasing someone else's dream. She's carving out her own lane, and she doesn't need applause for it. She needs peace. A Sigma female can't fake strength either. If she's tired, she rests. If she's overwhelmed, she disconnects. She won't slap on a smile and pretend everything's fine just to maintain appearances. That doesn't mean she's weak. It means she's honest enough to face what she feels, and brave enough to honor it. She can't fake belonging. If she feels like an outsider, she won't pretend to be part of something just to avoid loneliness. She'd rather be alone and authentic than surrounded and pretending, because she knows pretending is a betrayal, and she refuses to betray herself to make anyone else feel secure. That's what makes a Sigma female rare. That's what makes her magnetic. She can't fake it. She won't fake it. And honestly, that's why people trust her. That's why her presence feels like a breath of fresh air in a world full of noise. Because what you see with her is what's real, always. 2. A Sigma females can't be micromanaged. Seriously, it's one of the quickest ways to lose her. The moment someone starts hovering, questioning every move, or breathing down her neck, she mentally checks out. She doesn't need someone standing over her shoulder, telling her how to do things she already knows how to handle. She's self-led, self-taught, self-accountable. That's what makes her rare. She thrives in environments where trust is the currency, not control. Micromanagement feels like a cage to her, and she wasn't made to live in one. She needs space, not chaos, not laziness, just space to think, create, and move at her own rhythm. She respects structure, but not if it suffocates her. And if a boss, partner, or even friend starts dictating how she should think or behave, she instantly withdraws. Not to be spiteful, not to be difficult, but because forced control kills her inner spark. She does her best work, her best thinking, her best living, when no one's trying to script it for her. The thing is, a Sigma female wants to take responsibility. She's not waiting for someone to lead her. She doesn't need constant check-ins or step-by-step instructions. In fact, if you give her a goal and the freedom to reach it her way, she'll blow your mind. But if you micromanage every detail, all you'll get is resistance. Quiet resistance. Subtle disconnection. She won't argue. She won't complain. She'll just start pulling back. You'll lose her mentally long before she walks out physically. This is why Sigma females make amazing freelancers, solo entrepreneurs, or leaders in roles where independence is respected. Not because she can't work with others, but because she works best when treated like an adult, a capable, intelligent adult, not a pawn, not a puppet. She respects guidance, but not when it feels like a leash. There's a difference between support and surveillance, and she knows it. If you trust her, she'll go the extra mile. If you try to control her, she'll shut down. This applies in relationships too. A partner who tries to manage her time, her outfit, her words, or her dreams, that's a no. She's not a project. She's not here to follow someone else's script. She's building her own story. And anyone who tries to co-write her life without permission will be left on read. A Sigma female values autonomy more than approval. That means she needs to feel free, even when she's deeply connected. If the relationship turns into a power struggle, she's out. Love doesn't mean ownership to her. It means support without smothering. It means presence without pressure. She's not asking for special treatment, just basic respect, space to grow, room to breathe, and trust to move how she needs to move. Micromanagement to her is the ultimate insult. It says, "I don't think you can do this without me." But she knows she can. She always has. She's lived entire chapters relying on no one but herself. So when someone tries to control her steps, it backfires. Always. Because the Sigma female? She leads herself. She trusts her own voice. She writes her own rules. And anyone who can't handle that truth was never meant to walk beside her anyway. Hold up. If you've felt this so far, hit that like button. Seriously, it tells me this message matters, and if you're a Sigma or you know one, drop it in the comments. Alright, let's talk about something she absolutely won't tolerate. 3. A Sigma female can't beg to be chosen. She simply won't. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship, a job opportunity, or a long-time friendship. If the energy isn't mutual, she walks. Not out of pride, out of peace. A Sigma female believes in alignment, not attachment. She doesn't force her presence where it feels optional. If she has to convince someone of her worth, she's already emotionally checked out. She'll never chase what doesn't choose her back. That applies to people, jobs, spaces, attention, and everything in between. Even if she loves deeply, she still refuses to beg for a place in someone's life. Because to her, love that needs to be begged for was never love at all. It was convenience. And she doesn't live to be convenient. She knows her presence is powerful, her loyalty is rare, her energy is calm but intense. And the right people will see it without needing a sales pitch. If someone overlooks her, she takes the hint. She doesn't double text. She doesn't reapply to places that ghosted her. She doesn't remind people of what they're missing. She lets them miss it. Because a Sigma female isn't afraid to be alone. She doesn't see solitude as a punishment. She sees it as protection, a way to avoid pouring into people who never planned to pour back. And when someone starts pulling away, she doesn't chase. She watches, she observes, and she lets go, quietly. No drama, no big speech, no final warning. Just distance, just silence, just space. Because if someone needs to be begged to stay, they're already halfway gone. And a Sigma female would rather be left than lied to. She would rather be single than settled, rather be unemployed than undervalued, rather have 3 real friends than 30 fake ones. She doesn't audition for roles in other people's lives. She writes her own script, and she casts people based on how they show up, unprovoked. If someone only shows up when it's convenient, she doesn't chase them to stay consistent. She just stops expecting more, and when she stops expecting, she detaches. That's the thing about a Sigma female. When she realizes she's not truly wanted, she becomes unavailable, not as a game, as a boundary. She doesn't like gray areas. She likes clarity. If someone says they care but shows indifference, she'll believe the actions, not the words. And when she leaves, it's final. She doesn't come back to what hurt her. She doesn't re-enter rooms that made her feel like a burden. Her love is deep, but it has limits. Her time is valuable, and she won't spend it begging to be noticed. Not when she knows her worth. Not when she's fought to know her own value. So whether it's a partner who's emotionally distant, a boss who keeps overlooking her, or a friend who only calls when they need something, she pulls back. She doesn't demand respect. She expects it. And if she doesn't get it, she exits. Quietly, calmly, completely, because begging to be chosen is for people who don't know they're the prize. And a Sigma female, she knows, she always has. 4. A Sigma female can't play dumb to make others comfortable. She just can't shrink her intelligence to protect someone else's ego. If she knows the answer, she'll say it. If she sees the problem, she'll point it out. Not to prove anything, not to one-up anyone, but because truth matters more to her than approval. A Sigma female doesn't tone herself down to fit in. She knows what she brings to the table, and she doesn't hide it. If she's smart, she won't pretend not to be. If she has insight, she'll speak it. She doesn't play small in conversations just to seem relatable. That's not confidence, that's compromise. And compromise isn't her language. She's kind, yes, but never fake. She can't giggle at a bad idea just to avoid tension. She can't nod along when something clearly doesn't make sense. It feels like self-betrayal. And if she has to choose between being liked and being honest, she'll choose honesty every time. A Sigma female doesn't downplay her intelligence to be more attractive either. If someone feels threatened by her mind, that's their work to do, not hers. She doesn't flirt with ignorance. She doesn't weaponize helplessness. She's not the "I don't know, you tell me" type if she actually knows. She'll listen, absolutely, but she won't pretend to need guidance she doesn't need. It's not in her nature to act clueless when she's fully aware. That doesn't mean she's arrogant. It means she's grounded. She knows her worth, and she doesn't need to fake confusion to gain attention or feel accepted. In work settings, this stands out. A Sigma female won't stay quiet in meetings where her input could shift the direction. She won't sit on the sidelines while others take the lead if she has value to add. She doesn't care if speaking up makes her seem too assertive. She'd rather be called intimidating than invisible. And if she senses people are uncomfortable with her clarity, she won't dim it. She'll distance, because her goal isn't to be tolerable, it's to be true. In relationships, it's the same. A Sigma female can't play dumb when she sees patterns. She reads energy fast. She picks up on inconsistencies. She notices when things don't add up, and she won't pretend she doesn't see it just to keep the peace. If she asks questions, they're intentional. If she pulls back, it's not random. She's already figured something out. She doesn't argue to prove she's right, but she won't ignore red flags to keep someone comfortable. She values peace, but not at the cost of her awareness. Even socially, she can't laugh at jokes that are rooted in ignorance. She won't play along with gossip. She won't pretend to like people who repeatedly show they don't respect her, and she won't dumb herself down to match energy that doesn't challenge her. She wants depth. She wants sharp minds. She wants people who are okay with not always being the smartest one in the room, because she is, often, and she knows it. But she also knows it's not about being better, it's about being honest. A Sigma female has learned that hiding her brilliance to make others feel comfortable only leaves her feeling lost. So now, she lets her light shine, fully, freely, And if someone can't handle it, she's fine with that. She wasn't meant to be small anyway. Real quick, if you're still watching and vibing with this, go ahead and subscribe. I promise you, this channel is for women who don't play by the rule book. And yeah, it's only getting better from here. Now, let's get into one of the most misunderstood traits. 5. A Sigma female can't gossip just to bond. It doesn't sit right with her. The moment a conversation turns into tearing someone else down, she mentally checks out. It's not that she's uptight, it's that she's uninterested. She values depth, not drama. And gossip? That's just noise. A Sigma female doesn't get her sense of connection by whispering about other people's flaws. She connects through honesty, energy, ideas, and shared growth, not through shade. If someone brings gossip to the table, she listens once, but never twice. And if that becomes a pattern, she either changes the subject or leaves the room. Not because she's better than anyone, because her mind has better places to be. Gossip feels like poison to her peace. She can literally feel her energy draining when people start feeding off negativity. And no matter how casual it seems, she knows when something is low vibe. She doesn't laugh just to fit in. She doesn't nod along just to avoid standing out. If the bond is built on mocking others, she doesn't want it. She'd rather sit in silence than fake closeness over criticism. Even in friend groups, she keeps her distance from people who constantly talk about others. Because she knows, if they gossip with you, they'll gossip about you. And trust? That's everything to a Sigma female. If she doesn't feel it, she won't invest. She craves real, raw, soulful. The kind of connections where you can sit in a car and talk about life for hours, or not talk at all and still feel understood. Gossip doesn't create that. Gossip creates tension, judgment, insecurity, and she's not here for any of it. When someone tries to test her by baiting her into bad-mouthing someone, she doesn't fall for it. She'll either stay silent or offer a neutral reply. She's not going to hand over someone else's name to entertain the moment. That's not how she moves. She's grown past the need to feel included in the wrong circles. And yes, sometimes that makes her seem cold, distant, detached. But she's not. She's just not performing fake loyalty to win social points. Her boundaries are clear. Her standards are high. She knows how easily people bond over negativity when they're afraid of being vulnerable. But vulnerability, that's where the real connection happens. And that's what she's here for. If the friendship can't survive without gossip, it's not a friendship she needs. In work settings, it's the same. She avoids office cliques. She doesn't hang by the water cooler dissecting everyone's lives. She shows up, delivers, stays professional, and goes home. People may call her quiet, reserved, maybe even antisocial. But that's fine. She'd rather be misunderstood than messy. Because once a Sigma female hears someone trashing another woman for the way she talks, dresses, or lives, something in her closes off. She loses respect for people who throw around opinions like facts, especially when they've never lived that person's reality. And she knows better than anyone. The loudest people in the room usually have the least to say, so she doesn't engage, she doesn't repeat, she doesn't spread. A Sigma female guards her peace like it's sacred, because it is. And gossip? That's not part of her path. She'd rather uplift, stay quiet, or walk away. Not because she's perfect, but because she's evolved. And she refuses to shrink back down to fit where small talk reigns and integrity goes ignored. 6th, a Sigma female can't live for aesthetics alone. She appreciates beauty, sure, but surface level isn't enough for her. It never has been. She wants more than a curated Instagram feed or a matching outfit. She needs meaning behind the image, depth behind the smile, soul behind the style. A Sigma female can walk into a room looking amazing, but she's not there to impress. She's not performing, she's existing. Her appearance may turn heads, but her essence keeps the right ones close. She doesn't dress for attention, she dresses for alignment. Her style reflects how she feels, not what she thinks others want to see. She's not following trends just to fit the moment. She's creating her own, because she knows style without substance is just noise, and she craves clarity. A Sigma female values intentional living. She doesn't post just to be seen. She posts when she feels moved. She doesn't fake joy for the aesthetic. She lets her quiet moments breathe. She can look stunning and still be completely unavailable for shallow energy. She's not looking for praise. She's looking for peace. And if the world doesn't get that, she's okay being misunderstood. She doesn't need constant likes or compliments to validate her worth. She's built her identity on things that last: character, conviction, self-awareness. That's her glow. That's what sets her apart. She can't be part of spaces that obsess over appearances but ignore everything underneath, because she knows real beauty lives in intention, and if the vibe doesn't match the image, it all feels fake, empty, pointless. She can scroll through picture-perfect lives and spot the disconnect instantly. She doesn't envy surface-level success. She questions it, wonders what's really going on behind the filter, and that keeps her grounded. She loves art. She loves style. She loves aesthetics, but she won't sacrifice her values for a look. She won't fake happiness just to seem polished. She won't pretend she's thriving just because it's trending. If she's struggling, she'll sit with that, quietly, honestly. She's not trying to glamorize a life she hasn't earned. She knows there's nothing pretty about pretending. In friendships and relationships, it's the same. She can't date someone just because they look good on paper. She can't stay in a friendship that only works for appearances. If the connection doesn't feed her soul, she loses interest fast, because love without depth is just a costume, and she's done wearing masks. A Sigma female craves authenticity in how she lives, loves, creates, and connects. She doesn't post her healing journey in cute graphics. She lives it in silence, in long nights, in tough conversations, in the way she shows up for herself when no one's watching. That's what matters to her. So yeah, she can put on the dress, fix her hair, and walk into the room like she owns it. But don't be fooled. Her real beauty isn't the glow-up. It's the inner work behind it. It's the things no camera sees, the standards she refuses to lower, the truth she refuses to hide. A Sigma female will always value meaning over appearance, soul over sparkle, intention over image, because aesthetics fade. But alignment, that stays. And for her, looking good is cool, but feeling right, that's everything. Wait, before we go on, I want to know, which point hit you hardest so far? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and if you haven't liked the video yet, now's a good time. All right, moving on. This next one is major. 7. A Sigma. Female can't chase trends or people. It's just not who she is. If something feels forced, fake, or fleeting, she walks the other way. She's not interested in whatever everyone else is hyping up this week. She's not the type to jump on every bandwagon just to feel included. Trends come and go, people come and go, but her sense of self, that's solid, that's grounded, and that's exactly what makes her stand out. A Sigma female doesn't follow the crowd. She watches it, from a distance, with curiosity maybe, but rarely with the urge to join. If a new trend shows up, she asks herself one question: does this even feel like me? If the answer is no, she won't touch it. Doesn't matter if it's fashion, language, lifestyle, or mindset. If it doesn't align, she won't adopt it. She's not here to copy. She's here to create. She doesn't need social proof to feel secure. She doesn't need to do what others are doing to feel valid. She's already validated by her own intuition. That's her compass, and that's why people can't predict her. Because she's not reacting to what's around her, she's responding to what's within her. The same thing applies to people. A Sigma female will never chase someone who's unsure about her. If someone pulls away, she won't cling. She won't beg for clarity. She won't spiral trying to win them back. She respects herself too much for that. If someone doesn't see her value, that's not her loss. That's just a redirection, and she honors it. She doesn't see silence as rejection. She sees it as an answer. A Sigma female knows the difference between effort and chasing. She'll show up, sure. She'll care deeply. She'll invest if it feels right. But she'll never overextend for someone who doesn't reciprocate. That's where she draws the line. She doesn't chase love. She attracts it. Through presence, through energy, through honesty. The right people gravitate toward her because she's not pretending to be someone she's not. She's magnetic because she's real, and real is rare. A Sigma female also doesn't chase relevance. She doesn't care about staying on trend if the trend feels soulless. She doesn't download every app. She doesn't jump on every viral moment. She's often late to trends because she's busy living, deeply, intentionally, quietly. And while everyone else is scrolling for inspiration, she's out there building a life that makes sense to her. She doesn't chase followers, friends, or likes. She attracts people who vibe with her truth. That means sometimes she's misunderstood. Sometimes people call her aloof or antisocial. That's fine. She'd rather be alone than be in constant pursuit of attention. She knows that chasing anything, clout, status, approval, usually ends in exhaustion, and she protects her peace too much to live in burnout. So she moves slower, but deeper. She chooses quality over quantity, alignment over popularity, truth over trends, and connection over chaos. A Sigma female knows what's meant for her won't require chasing. It'll feel calm, clear, certain. And until that shows up, she's not waiting. She's growing, she's glowing, she's evolving in her own lane because that's where she belongs. 8. A Sigma female can't be someone she's not, even if it makes life easier. She's not wired for pretending, not even when it would save her time, money, energy, or heartbreak. She won't wear a mask just to avoid confrontation. She won't mold herself to fit into rooms that weren't designed for her, even if it means losing opportunities, even if it means walking away from people she once loved. If it costs her authenticity, it's too expensive. That's her standard, and she doesn't compromise it. A Sigma female would rather disappoint others than betray herself. She can't smile when her soul is exhausted. She can't laugh at jokes that don't land. She can't agree just to keep the peace if something feels wrong in her gut. Even when it's tempting to play a part, she doesn't. She knows what it feels like to ignore her instincts, and she never wants to go back there. So she tells the truth. Even when it's hard, even when it's awkward, even when it gets quiet after she speaks. Because silence is better than self-abandonment, always. A Sigma female has tried pretending before. She's tried shrinking, tried softening her tone, rounding her edges, and smiling when she wanted to scream. It didn't work. It only left her feeling lost, unseen, and tired. So now, she refuses. She's done trading authenticity for acceptance. She knows that fitting in isn't the same as belonging. And she's not here for shallow belonging. She's here to be whole, fully, completely. Even if that wholeness confuses people, even if it intimidates them, even if it makes her the odd one out. She's learned to live with being misunderstood. It doesn't shake her anymore. She's not scared of being the only one with a different perspective. She's more scared of pretending to believe things she doesn't. She doesn't say yes when she means no. Doesn't stay quiet just to avoid conflict. Doesn't fake smiles to keep others comfortable. If she's not feeling it, she shows it. And that honesty makes some people uncomfortable, but that's not her problem. Her peace matters more than their approval. In love, it's the same. A Sigma female won't pretend to be low maintenance if she's craving depth. She won't hide her intensity, won't water down her passions. She won't become easy to love by muting who she really is. She knows the right person will never ask her to become less. And if someone does, they're not her person. In work, she won't fake enthusiasm for things that drain her. She'd rather walk away than stay in a job that chips away at her identity. She won't pretend to care about office politics or fake friendships. She values integrity over image, always. And in friendships, if she can't be herself, she doesn't stay. No masks, no performance, no pretending to enjoy shallow talks when her soul is craving something real. A Sigma female lives from the inside out. Her decisions, her energy, her words, they all come from a place of alignment. She refuses to live a life that looks good but feels wrong, even if it's lonely, even if it's hard, because being herself is non-negotiable. It's not a choice, it's survival. She's not trying to be different, She just can't be fake. And if that makes her life a little more complicated sometimes, so be it. At least she's free. I remember watching this woman once. The room was chaos. A boardroom packed with executives, tension high, everyone talking over each other, loud opinions, competing egos, people trying to prove they were right. She didn't jump in. She didn't fight to be heard. She didn't raise her voice to match the volume in the room. She just waited, sat still, calm, collected, focused. No tapping fingers, no nervous glances, just silence. Her silence wasn't empty. It was electric. You could feel the shift before she even opened her mouth. And when she finally spoke, it wasn't a speech. It was one sentence, short, direct, unapologetically clear, and the entire room fell quiet. No one interrupted. No one challenged her, because when she spoke, it didn't feel like a suggestion. It felt like truth, not because she was the loudest, but because she was the most grounded. She had already listened, already observed, already understood the room better than the room understood itself. That's a Sigma female. She doesn't demand respect. She doesn't have to. She commands it, without saying much at all. There's a presence she carries, a quiet power that doesn't need to be loud to be felt. People notice when she enters. They adjust when she speaks, not because she's trying to dominate, but because she's undeniably herself. A Sigma female moves with intention. She's not here to prove anything. She's not chasing applause. She's not faking confidence. She walks in already knowing her value. That moment in the boardroom, it wasn't about status or strategy. It was about clarity, and clarity always cuts through noise. That's the kind of power most people don't understand. And that's what makes a Sigma female different. She doesn't play games. She plays by her own rules. So here's what it comes down to. A Sigma female doesn't play by rules she didn't write. She doesn't conform to outdated expectations. She creates her own standards. She lives on her own terms, even when it's inconvenient, even when it makes others uncomfortable. She doesn't settle for halfway connections. If the love isn't real, if the friendship isn't safe, if the energy isn't mutual, she's out. She doesn't shrink for comfort. If she has to become less to make someone else feel more, she's gone. She refuses to apologize for being whole. She knows she's not perfect, but she also knows she doesn't have to pretend to be smaller to be accepted. That kind of wholeness is rare. A Sigma female may not always realize how rare she is. She might question herself sometimes, wonder if she's too intense, too private, too different. But the world sees her, and sometimes the world pushes back. Because people don't always know what to do with women who don't seek approval. But here's the truth. She's not too much. She's just real. Real in a world that thrives on pretend. And that realness, that's her edge. That's what makes her unforgettable. So if you're a Sigma female watching this right now, or if you love one, here's your reminder. You don't need to fix anything about yourself. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not lacking. You're just built differently, and your path won't look like anyone else's because it's not supposed to. Stay true to that. Own that. Keep growing from that place of truth. Don't shrink. Don't perform. Don't chase. Just keep being who you are, unfiltered, grounded, and full of fire. So let's talk. If you've ever been called intimidating just for minding your business, drop a speech bubble in the comments. If someone's ever told you you're too much, too serious, too deep, let them know you're done apologizing. And if you know a Sigma female who needs to hear this, send it her way. She might not say it out loud, but she'll feel seen. And hey, if you're into videos that actually speak your language, check out the one we did on social energy and high-value silence. It breaks down exactly why people respond so strongly to you, whether they admire you, fear you, or try to figure you out. You're not alone out there. You're just not like the rest. And that's the gift. That's the edge. That's the reason the world doesn't know what to do with you, yet can't forget you. You don't move like everyone else. You don't chase what everyone else does. And because of that, you build a life that's truly yours. Not perfect, not polished, but powerful and real. Keep walking that path. We see you.